Hi, John Michael Bliss here for Grow, Love, and Expand again. Hi. Today, I'm going to talk to you about letting go of the ego, right? How to let go of the ego and what is the ego, okay? Long time ago, there was this book. It's called Richard Heidelman. It was Total Yoga. And like the first thing about this was, and now this is when I first got into yoga. I didn't know much about it, but like the first chapter was letting go of the ego, and I found this very intriguing because I was in search mode, this is 25, 30 years ago, this is a long time ago. And I was in search mode, who am I? What am I? I was at that point in my life where I'm asking these questions. Who am I? What am I? What's God? Who's God? What's going on? All these things, right? And the first chapter was letting go of the ego. And I read that, found that's very intriguing. Because, when we learn best is when we let go of the ego. Because we're at a point in our life where we finally just say, I don't know anything. Teach me, right? Now, the universe is always teaching you that your higher self, God, Goddess, all that is, whatever terminology you want to call it, it's always there, And to think that, you're not a part of something bigger than what you originally thought is just really ludicrous, right? Because you are. We just don't know it, maybe not aware of it. The reason why we're not aware of it is because the ego. The ego mind tries to control us. The ego mind tries to take us places that maybe we don't really want to go, okay? And people can disguise ego all they want. They can talk about ego all they want. But ego, a lot of times what ego does is doesn't allow us to listen, doesn't allow us to hear, doesn't allow us to feel because it interferes, okay? The ego mind, and basically how to recognize it is, have you ever just been to a point where you're done, right? You're just like, I can't take it anymore, right? Because that's where the ego is inevitably going to lead us. It's just a fact. Because the ego thinks it knows everything. It's not willing to listen most of the time. The ego thinks it is the only thing in the universe, when in fact, the heart knows it is not. The heart tries to guide us, but the ego interferes. The ego allows us to override the heart because the ego thinks it knows everything. Until one day the ego realizes it doesn't know anything at all. And it's willing to listen to the heart. And sometimes that happens through life events. Takes us down paths to where we just get beat up. Or major events happen, divorces, lose jobs. So many things could happen in your life where you just finally go, all right, yeah, I don't know it all. I don't know anything. It's like, exactly. The truth of the matter is you never did. Okay, you never did. The ego thinks it knows everything, but it didn't. And it's only when you're almost at the defeated point, which is unfortunate because you don't have to get there. You don't have to get there in order to listen. A lot of people do. A lot of people go to the brink of absolute, like, that I'm done, to finally go, okay, it's time to listen to the heart. It's time to, I don't know anything, teach me, right? And that's letting go of the ego, right? It's letting go of that, I think I know everything, to where maybe I don't know anything. And even to this day, I've been doing this a long time, man, a long time, a long, long, long time. And there is so much to learn still. Am I aware of a lot of things? Yeah. But there is so much more to be aware of. It's a big universe out there, right? And you have to be open, right, to understanding. Someone says, hey, look, man, you're an asshole. You got two ways to look at this. You could say, am I? Or they're a jerk off for calling me this. See, the ego is going to say, they're a jerk. Screw them, right? Screw them. They don't know nothing. F off, right? But the heart goes, well, wait a second. Maybe, am I? The heart goes, let's evaluate this. The heart doesn't hold the attachment to the word. Everybody gets so offended. The heart doesn't hold the attachment. The heart goes, okay, well, let's evaluate this. Maybe I am. Was I being a jerk off? And you go, no, I wasn't. Okay, fine. Then you release it, let it go. Or maybe maybe I kind of was, right? It's like letting go. How to get rid of the ego is let go. Get rid of the notion that you think you know it all. Shut up, first of all. Just shut your stinking mouth. And listen, all right? Because, we have to get to a point where just shut up, man. Stop yapping. Start hearing, right? And allow yourself to just be. And allow yourself to just feel the moment. And you don't have to get to the point of absolute destruction before you actually get to the point where you're willing to listen. Okay? The ego, I'm telling you straight out, is going to take you down a path that is not for your best and highest good. It's not. It thinks it knows it's all. It's not willing to listen. It's not willing to understand. It's not willing to compromise. Whereas the heart goes, okay, I'm open. Maybe I'll try this new food that I've never eaten, right? It's willing to expand its awareness. The heart is willing to understand itself, whereas the ego mind does not. If in essence, let's take a look at this for a second. If God got us all that. If God is pure love and God is the ability to expand itself and learn about itself, what does it do? It creates scenarios. It creates worlds, universes. It expands itself in order to learn more about itself because it wants to show its love and appreciation for all things and plus learn about how it can react in this certain situation, right? And then let's just say there's a break apart of this reality, and then this ego self that is a part of this it thinks it's separate, thinks it knows more, thinks it's not part of this greater good. This droplet has been removed, but yet there's still a cord that connects it because it still comes from the source. No matter what you think in life, it all comes back and connects to the source, right? But this separate, so-called separate identity or reality thinks it's separate and there is no other. And it starts to think it knows everything until time goes by and could be millennia of years, hundreds of millions of thousands of billions of years, okay? And then it starts to go, yeah, I don't know anything. And then it opens its eyes and goes, oh, wow, I didn't know you were there. And this goes, I've been here the whole time. I just had to let you experience your own reality in your own time frame or linear space to where you finally come to the realization that you are not or not have ever been alone. And that this is the true source. The heart is the true source. If God is love, and that's what God really is, then where does love exist? Right? Okay, we're talking metaphorically, of course, right? The heart, love, what it represents. So, this is what we have to do. We have to learn to let go. And so this ego mind over here says, oh man, wow, I screwed up. I don't know anymore. Help me. And then this goes, okay, now we have you. So then this goes, can I come back to source? You go, well, not yet. Not yet. This is perfection. Every electrical current working in congruency with one another, working effectively in efficiency, never connecting or interacting. You throw a pebble in there, it could ruin the whole thing. Not going to happen. So the ego goes, oh, wow, what do I do? And the love goes, you got to fix it. You got to correct it. Well, how do I do that? You start to make amends. You start to look at yourself introspectively and start to realize, okay, maybe I could do this differently. Maybe I could do that differently. And it starts to become self-aware. It starts to understand that it is not by itself. It's a part of a collective whole that's much greater than its own individuality, that the ego is not the source, love is the source, and now we slowly start to dispense the ego, slowly but surely, and the ego starts to diminish and go away, and what's left is what has always been, which is love, pure love. First steps in getting rid of the ego is let go. Well, I guess I'd say the first step is recognizing, right? But when you have those moments where you think you know it all, where it's an absolute, right? Then, look, we're talking common sense here. We know the sun goes up, the sun comes down. We're not talking these kinds of things, Okay. I think you kind of get an idea. But once you get rid of this, let go of this ego mindset, and you become open, you become less rigid. Okay. You start to say, okay, I don't know it all. Show me. And if you want a really good technique, that's what you do. Go, I am open to the suggestions of love. And then just allow. I release and I let go. Right? And once the ego mind dissipates completely, you're going to see a world that you never even thought possible, right? Because here's what happens. You now shut your mouth and you listen. You listen for a very long time. And that could be 10 years, 20 years, 25, 30 years. And then you go, okay, all right. I think I'm starting to understand it now. There's a collective consciousness, a collective whole that we're a part of. The ego always thought it was separate. The ego always thought it knew everything. It knew nothing. Nothing. This is everything. And then the ego got kicked in the tail and went, uh-oh, I don't know anything. Show me. And then this goes, okay, we will. Boom. And it starts to present things in your life that you didn't know that were there. And then things in your life you may have done, maybe not in the best and highest good. You start to go, I'm sorry. Why did I do that? I treated that person so unkindly. What a jerk. Right? And it's okay. But you don't like, oh, I have the pity party moment. You just go, okay, move on. We learned it. We bless it. We love it. We thank it. And we let it go. And then that branch of that tree goes away. And then another event, and another event, another event, another event. Now this is gone. And what's left is this, which has always been. In the beginning, there was light and only light. It's not ever changed. The only thing that's changed is our awareness. We created duality. It doesn't exist. That's a myth. I don't care who's talking to you, who's telling you. It's a myth. Duality does not exist. We'll do that in another episode. It doesn't. What is here has always been here. Pure love, pure light. That's what we are a part of. Let go of the ego, recognize true self, and the expansion and awareness of growth happens simultaneously and instantaneously. You are great who you are. Remember, always believe, always love yourself for who you are. You are perfect. John Michael Bliss for Grow, Love, and Expand. Thank you for listening. I do appreciate you guys 100%. With much love and all that's intended. Have a wonderful rest of your day.